Today we will be generally talking about the different sections and tabs that you will have to complete on the Common App. And we will highlight some of these sections, and we will have a chance to answer your questions at the end of the session. So if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them in the chat box. But before we begin, I would like to ask you a question. If you would like, please just take a few seconds to answer this question. Did you create your Common App account or not yet? You can answer yes, no, or I don't know how to create the account. Okay, I think you can see the answers on the screen. One student said that he or she have already created their account, and 4 students don't know how to create their account. That's okay. Today, unfortunately, we will not show you how to create your account on the Common App. However, it is very easy to do that, as you will find so many instructions on the Common App website on how you can create your own account. Also, I will send you today a follow-up email with instructions how you can create your own account. So first, let's talk generally about the Common App. The Common App is a not-for-profit member organization. They are committed to the pursuit of access, equity and integrity in the college admission process. And each year, actually more than 1 million students around the world apply to colleges and universities using the Common App online application. It was founded in 1975, and they have more than 900 member colleges and universities, not only in the US, but they also have 62 international universities in 18 countries. Also, the Common App, you only need to use one system to apply to multiple colleges and universities. There are basically 2 main parts you need to fill out. You have the set of common questions, and you have each college's own specific questions. And the best part about the Common App is that you only have to fill out the common questions one time only. And actually, the Common App launched their 2020-21 application season on August 1st. Also, on the Common App, you can learn about the college admissions process. You can find so many resources and understand how to plan and apply to different colleges and universities, and also financial aid as well. So the main Common App tabs, which you will see once you create your account, you have the dashboard, then you have My Colleges, Common App, College Search, and Financial Aid and Resources. For the dashboard, basically the dashboard is your home base for managing your applications. The dashboard will make it quick and easy for you to check your progress for each college that you will add to your list. You will see them displayed on the dashboard, and for each one you will see basically the college name and the deadline you have selected, for example, regular decision, early action, etc., and your application status as well. You can actually store your colleges by name or deadline on the dashboard tab. Then you have My Colleges. On the My Colleges tab, you will complete the specific questions and supplements for each university or college you will add to your list. Also, you will be able to invite your recommenders and your counselor, and you will submit your application as well. The Common App, you have 7 different sections that you need to complete. You have the profile, family, education, testing, activities, writing, and courses and grades. And we will be talking more about these sections in the next few slides. Then you have the College Search tab. You basically will search the colleges and universities that are members of the Common App, and you can actually start your search either based on the school name, the location, available deadlines, and you have other options as well. And the final tab is the Financial Aid Resources. You will find so many information and also resources about financial aid and scholarships, like the CSS, the FAFSA, and other informations as well. So first, let's talk about the 7 sections on the Common App. First, you have the profile section. You will provide basically some basic information and personal information about yourself. And you will notice that some of the information you provided when creating your account has been already added. In the address section, you will see the address also you entered when creating your account, but you can change or update your address if needed. The next section, which is the contact details, they will ask you to share your preferred phone number, and also you have the option to share another phone number if you want to. The demographic section, basically it provides the opportunity to share more information about your background. And just so you know, actually the questions in this section are actually not required. They are optional, so you can answer them, or if you don't want to, that's fine. Then you have the geography section. You will enter basically the country and the city where you were born, and they will ask you about the number of years you have lived in or and or outside basically the United States. Next, you have, of course, to list the languages you are proficient in. Of course, you will choose basically the number of languages you want to include, and then you can see what the level of skills you have for each language, you know, for the reading, the writing, the speaking, and the listening. In the citizenship section, you will indicate your citizenship status basically, and you can list actually more than one. In the last section, which is the Common App fee waiver, basically the Common App fee waiver, you waive the application fee for any college you apply to through the Common App, and we will talk about that now. So the Common App, you will have a chance basically not to pay the fees for different colleges and universities. International applicants may be eligible for this. If you want to apply for the Common App fee waiver, as you can see, you have different indicators you have to select from when you complete your Common App account. So basically, as an international student, you can only choose the last option, which is highlighted in yellow. I can provide a supporting statement from a school official, college access counselor, financial aid officer, or community leader. Basically, if you are a US citizen, you might actually qualify for the other indicators. If you are registered as a resident in US state, you can actually choose one of the options you can see on the screen. And of course, you need to verify if the university asks you to verify it. Of course, your counselor will be asked to complete a fee waiver form to confirm your request, you know, for the fee waiver. But you need to know that it is up to each individual school to determine basically if they will accept your fee waiver request. And you need to know that some universities and colleges will also have their own application fee waiver, which you can find on their website. So then the next section is the family section, and you will be asked to share details about basically your household and family members. They will ask you about your parents' marital status, and you will share some information about them, like their name, country of birth, and address. You are also asked what is your parents' occupation, you know, what do they do for a living, what's their job, and their educational level. Also, you might be asked for additional information. For example, if they have like attended a college, you need to list the college they have attended and whether, for example, they earned a degree there, or, you know, did they graduate or not. You are also given the option to share your parents' email. And if you choose to include their email, they might reach out to your parents with information on how they can support you through the college application process. The sibling section, they will ask you if you have, of course, any siblings, and you can list up to 5 siblings. And for each sibling, you will have to provide, their name, their age, and their educational level as well. For the education section, you will basically share information about your school and academic history. First, you need to add your current or most recent high school. You can search for your school by country, by city, or even by name. Most of you will not find your school listed on the Common App. So if it is not listed, you can select I don't see my school. You have this option, and so you will have to select it, I don't see my school. Then you will be able to enter your high school's information basically manually. And in this section, you will need to add your school counselor's information. And if you do not have a counselor at your school, you can list your principal or maybe some other school official. So if you have attended more than one school also, you can add them in the other secondary high school tab. You will share the dates you have attended each school, and you need to provide a reason why you have left this school basically. Also, if you have ever maybe taken a college course or a university course, you will state that in the colleges and universities section. First, you need to add the number of colleges and add each of their name, and then you can share some information and some details, maybe including when did you take this course. Then we have the grades section. Basically, you will enter information on your graduating class and GPA. Your high school counselor should be able to help you complete this section. Again, if you do not have a high school counselor, you can ask your principal or some school official to help you with this. You should basically report your current class rank, if you have any, and your GPA. Even though it might change, later in the year, that's okay. Also, if your school does not have a ranking, also it's okay, you can select none. Also, they have something weighted versus unweighted GPA or class rank. When we talk about weighted GPA, we mean that you can actually get a score higher than the maximum score earned at your school, basically. For example, if your high school has a GPA out of 4, let's say, and you can earn a GPA, for example, 4.5 out of 4, this is a weighted GPA. Again, please ask your school counselor or your school principal or school official for this information, as they will be able to help you to answer these questions if you don't know them. Of course, then you will have to list your current year courses. For each course, you will enter the course basically title, level, and the course's schedule system your school is using, like semesters or quarters or other options you will have. You can also list any academic achievements you have received in the honors section. You can list up to 5 honors. And for each one, you will include when did you receive it? Is it in 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th, or 12th? Also, the level of recognition. Is it, like high school, national, regional, or international level? For the community-based organizations, you will provide, they usually provide support to students like you who are interested in applying to US universities and colleges. And if you are involved in one of these organizations, you should complete this section. Also, for the final section, you will be asked to share your career interest. You are also asked about the highest degree you intend to earn. If you don't know the answer to these questions, to your future plans, it's okay. You can also choose undecided. The testing section, of course, oh, sorry. Okay, for the testing section, of course, you can actually self-report scores of any of the standardized tests that you have taken. Of course, if you plan to report these scores, you need to keep in mind that you need to send the official scores from the agency, from the testing agency. For example, if you want to take the TOEFL IBT, you need to send your scores through ETS. If you want to take the IELTS, you need to contact the British Council to send your scores to the universities and colleges you will be applying to. Also, if you want, for example, to take the SAT1 or the SAT2, you will contact the college board and they will send your scores on your behalf directly to the colleges and university. Also, in the testing section, you will see a specific question to international applicants. You will have the option to report any leaving exams you have taken. For example, like the Tawjihi, you need to take it in order for you to graduate. And so because, of course, when you are going to apply to different universities and colleges, if you are a Tawjihi student, you will basically will not answer this question. You will say no because you did not take any of these leaving exams yet. For example, if you are currently a high school senior. If you are, for example, currently taking a gap year, you already graduated from high school, you can answer yes and then put the leaving examinations that you already took. Then we have the activities section. This section gives you basically the chance to tell colleges more about yourself and your interests outside of school. And you can actually list up to 10 activities in this section, but that does not mean that you have to enter 10 activities. It's better, you know, to think about the activities that are most meaningful for you. You will first select, you know, the activity type. You can list activities like cultural, internships, dance, art, athletic activities, family responsibilities, maybe jobs, if you did any jobs, also volunteer work maybe, and you have so much that you can choose from the list. If you can't find your activity type, you can actually choose other. Basically, then you will have to describe the activity and your involvement in it, your position. And then, of course, you need to keep in mind that when you want to describe each activity, there's a word limit for these sections. Also, you have to list the name of the organization, basically. And when did you participate in this activity? Is it in 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th, or 12th grade? Also, you will need to share the number of hours and weeks you have spent on this activity. Maybe some students are not sure of the exact numbers. It's okay, but please make sure that you give your best guess. And lastly, you will specify whether you plan to take part in a similar activity in college or university as well. And now I'm going to hand it over to my colleague Sana. Again, if you have any questions during the session, please just type them in the chat box. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. Let's all take a deep breath and contemplate all the information that has been given to you by Marwa. Thank you so much, Marwa, for the information. We know it's a lot of information, but the great news is that the Common App system allows you to enter your information and then go back and change or continue with answering the additional sections on the common application. So it's an active application. You can go back, you save, and you can go back and edit and add your other information as you receive it, or as you want to provide information based on where you are in your academic year. I'm assuming most of you are seniors now. For those of you who are still, who are currently or rising juniors, you can still complete the common application, and then at the end of the year, it'll stay saved, and it will be active until there's a time during the end of July and early August where the system is deactivated and then is reactivated. I think the 4th or 5th of August of every year. And so once it's reactivated, those of you who are now juniors and are going to be rising seniors in the summer, you can update your information as rising seniors and indicate the month and year you plan to graduate. So you're not going to be missing any information or lose any information, and it'll cause less stress for you if you are a junior and you have basically a whole year to work on your common application and make changes. You may change the universities that you've chosen. You may have an initial list of 6 or 7, and then during the course of the year, whether you're a senior now or a junior, you can change that based on your own research. I do recommend that you keep, those of you who have not created an account, to create a professional email account. Nothing with, nicknames or, titles that are not reflective of your official name. So those of you who have, who don't have an official email account with your official name, your first and last name, I would recommend that you do that, because sometimes it can be confusing when you're going back. And also, professionally speaking, since you're going to be writing universities, you'll be communicating with university representatives, it's really important for you to have an official email account. If your name is Adam Jabir, it should be Adam Jabir somewhere in the email signature. And then you can add either, a number or something that would if it doesn't allow you to create that, you can move around it and create a name, but maintain your official name in that email signature. Do not create multiple accounts. So make sure that when you've created your online common application account, that is only one account. Don't think that, oh, I made a mistake, or I forgot my username, or I forgot my password, I should create a second account. Don't do that. You should write your username, and which is basically your email, and your password somewhere where you can find it, so that if you do forget your password and you don't want to have it saved on your desktop for easy access, then you should have your password information safely tucked somewhere where you can retrieve it if you do forget your password. So please keep that in mind. The writing section is really a very important part of the common application, and the great thing about it is, you write your essay, and that essay will go to all the universities and colleges that you plan to apply to on your list. There are universities and colleges that will require that you submit additional essays called supplemental essays, and that's basically university or college specific. So there may be some colleges and universities that will require that you answer second or third question, and you will be able to see that in the dashboard and see what the requirements are for each university, whether it's testing or essays. But the main essay, the personal essay, you will be offered 7 prompts to choose from, and we'll share that information in the next slide. You have a minimum of 250 words to write, maximum of 650 words. So not 651, 650. You can finish your essay with 600, 640, or even 500. So basically making sure that you have enough space for you to write what you want to write about, and you're given that much space to write. Those many words are sufficient for many of our students, and if you find yourself that you went over the 650, then it's going to be easier for you to edit out, to go back and edit your essay and make sure that it is 650 words, and you can determine the number of words by checking the word count on the system, on the your laptop or computer. The second section or the category is disciplinary history. I think this may not be relevant for many of you, if not all of you, but it is there for you to understand that if you have had any experiences with any kind of disciplinary violations, academic misconduct or behavioral misconduct, expulsion from school, it's going to be important that you consider mentioning that and provide dates and provide an explanation of what happened during that experience. And so it's a very sensitive category. And if you have any questions about that and you feel like you're not sure whether you should mention a certain experience or not, you can contact us and we can certainly share with you our feedback and our recommendation. The third category in the writing section is additional information. In the time of COVID, the Common Application program has included a specific question, and it's a maximum of 250 words. If you want to share your thoughts and how the COVID-19 experience has impacted you, your family, your society, your education, anything really related to COVID-19, they've offered you a platform to write about that. But please don't confuse that essay with the personal essay. That's something that's additional. You have the option to write additional information or additional essay, and you have the option not to. But if you have something you want to say and share with the universities, this is the place where you would share that. And so make sure that you're not, rewriting your essay and adding and using that main essay, some of the sections of that main essay, and adding it to the COVID-19 essay. So it's important that you don't confuse these two essays. The writing personal essay is required, but the additional essay on COVID-19 and the impact it has had on you is not mandatory, and it's up to you to write. There's another section. It's called additional circumstances that have not been reflected in the rest of the application. Sometimes things happen. It could be a financial situation, an economic situation that has affected your family. The parents or parent is not working, is no longer working for whatever reason. Anything related to a health issue, anything that you feel would further benefit you as an applicant that you think would be important for the university to know about. And it could be on different situations or different issues related to health, economics. Sometimes, you want to write about an experience you had transferring to a school, and you want to explain why your grades dropped for one semester or a full year. And the reason for that was because you transferred from one school to another, or you moved from one country to another. So these are additional circumstances that you were unable to include in any of the other sections of the Common Application. This is the place for it. And so here again, we have an additional platform for you to add information you feel would be important for the U.S. higher education representatives to know about. Next slide, please. So these are the 7 prompts, and these are topics that you can use as a reference to write your essay. And these are important prompts for you to understand each one, so that you know what you want to write about. Sometimes we read the essay topic, and then we start writing our essay, and then we realize the body of our essay is not reflective of the topic. So please make sure that when you're deciding which essay topic you would like to write about, to consistently and from time to time go back to the essay topic to make sure that you're in line with your body of your essay is in line with the topic that you're writing about. You have 6 prompts. The 7th is a topic of your choice. So it gives you, again, additional flexibility to decide that, well, the first 6 topics are not really saying anything to me. They're not really encouraging me to write, but I have something else I want to share. And so that could be your own topic of your choice. So, and you have the freedom to do that by choosing your own topic. Basically, your essay is really should be not an academic essay per se, but an essay that tells your story. How do you want the college or university representatives who are reading your essay to know about you through answering or responding to these essay topics? So it's really more about knowing more about you, who you are as a person, as you answer the questions in these essay prompts, or the topic, or the what it's asking you to write about. As you notice here, some of these questions talk about, you know, write about an obstacle that you encounter or a problem that you solved. Discuss an accomplishment or an event that you experienced that really helped you grow as a person. And so different topics for you to consider, and it's always a good idea to start off with, you know, brainstorming session, you know, writing some maybe words here and there to describe the essay topic that you have in mind, and kind of begin with an outline. And if you feel like you have enough to say, and it's very relevant to the topic, then you should start with an essay outline and begin writing. You will have plenty of time to review and edit and re-edit. And at the end of the day, we ask that you, if you would like to share, you know, your first sample essay, draft essay with us, and for us to give you some feedback, Marwa and I will be happy to do that. You also have the option to share that with, you know, your teachers or your counselor, or anyone you feel would give you the kind of feedback that you're looking for. Not necessarily, you know, oh yeah, it's a great essay, go for it. No, we want someone to be able to critique your essay and give you some guidance as to how you can improve it, and make it more, you know, more meaningful, or stronger, in a sense that you want to attract the reader from the first, you know, a couple sentences. The first paragraph is going to be very important for you to attract the reader, and it takes time. And don't feel the pressure to complete it in the next month or so. But if you are a senior, I'm looking at possibly having, you know, maybe a 3rd or 4th read early October. So you have August and September to start drafting your essay. And feel free to share that draft with us if you would like our feedback. Next slide, please. This section is the courses and grades. Some universities will ask that you submit or you self-report your grades and the coursework that you've taken. Other universities will not require that. And so on the common application, you can check and see which universities require the submission of a self-reported course and grades. And that could be one source of your information to kind of figure out which schools are asking for these grades and self-reported courses. And if you are having issues, you can always go through the view walkthrough, and it'll help you walk through the process of submitting this information. But for the most part, from our experience, not the schools that our students have applied to, not many of them do require self-reporting your transcript. What they will require, obviously, is for your school to submit your official transcript to the school through your school counselor or school administrator. Next slide, please. Okay, inviting recommenders and how you can manage the recommenders. Are we going to start the short video, Marwa?
Yes.
Okay.
Just 1 minute.
Hi, it's Stephanie from Common App. Let's take a look at the recommendation process and how inviting recommenders works. As a part of your application, you'll need to invite your counselors and recommenders. Recommenders are people who will submit forms and information to colleges on your behalf. In the Common App, there are 4 types of recommenders you can invite. Counselors, who submit your transcripts and school report. Teachers, whose letters of recommendation tell colleges about your academic and personal characteristics. Other recommenders, who share more about your character and abilities outside the classroom. And advisors.
Yes, Sana, I stopped the
Okay,
video.
yeah, it's okay. We just want to give you a glimpse of what's available on the Common App. There are so many videos, short videos, and instructions for each of the sections of the Common Application that really, if you go through it with, you know, and time yourself and not be pressured to complete the Common Application, it's not going to be required that you complete the Common Application in one sitting, in 1 week, or even in 1 month. So it is a process. And the great thing about the Common Application that it provides you with help tabs to further understand any of the sections that you're having issues with. If you realize that you still need additional help, we are available to help you, you know, with any questions you have or any issues that you have with navigating the Common Application. So this is just like one video that gives you information about how to invite recommenders. You'll be asked to invite teachers. For those of you who are rising seniors, this is a very good time for you to connect with those teachers that you would like to recommend you. It's a system process. So the teachers, you'll invite them by providing their name and their email in the system, and the system will send them an invite. So you need to speak with your potential recommenders, let them know that you would like them to recommend you for you know, applying to universities in the U.S. And share with them you know, what you what you would like to study. If you have an idea of what you want to study, just let them know your interests and the universities that you plan to apply to, so they have an idea of where you're heading in terms of your academic career path, and also to give them a heads up so that when they receive an email from the Common App system, they know it's coming, and they will see that it's coming from you, and they will go ahead and complete the online form, and that will be submitted directly to the university or college. Next slide, please. Of course, if I can just go back to the recommenders, of course, most schools will ask that you submit either 2 or 3 recommendation letters. 2 of these are from your teachers, 1 from your counselor or school administrator. So there's an average of 3 recommendation letters. Some universities and colleges will also offer you to submit an additional recommendation letter. It's optional. And you can, you know, ask someone that you've worked with as a volunteer from you know, a club, or if you've worked in a company, or if you've interned, you can ask, you know, someone outside the academic program that you're in at school to submit a recommendation on your behalf. But that's going to be determined by the university or college. They will determine if you are able to submit an additional recommendation, which is an optional recommendation. But usually the required recommendations, recommendation letters, are from your academic teachers and your high school counselor from the school that you're graduating from. Some of you may have been on the YES program in the US, or have studied abroad, or moved during your, freshman or sophomore year, the recommendation letters need to come from the school that you're graduating from. Optional recommendation letters can come from teachers that you've had in previous years at other schools, but it needs to show that the university is giving you that option to submit additional recommendations. Next slide, please. The Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, or FERPA, is a waiver that is regulated by the privacy of the student. So it allows you to decide if you want to give the online common application system the right to review confidential letters provided as part of the application that you submit. So hopefully you'll answer yes, or you'll click yes that you are giving that you understand and accept the Student Privacy Act, and that you grant your high school permission to release your records to be received by the colleges and universities that you're applying to. The second authorization is for you to either waive or not to waive your right to review recommendations in other forms. So I'd say 99% of our students, they will waive that right, because that will give your teacher, your school counselor, and other potential recommenders the flexibility and the confidence to share their view of you as a student, as a person, without the pressure of knowing that you'll be seeing that recommendation letter. So you obviously you have a right to waive or not to waive, but I can tell you from experience, universities for the most part would prefer that you waive your right, because they want to know that the recommender is writing the information about you without the pressure of you knowing that you will be seeing that recommendation letter. So hopefully you'll think about this authorization request, and at the end of the day, it's your right to waive or not to waive. But from our experience, most of our students do waive that right, and this offers the counselor and the teachers room to express themselves freely without having the pressure of the student they're writing about to read their recommendation letter. And obviously, when you're choosing recommenders, it is expected that you'll be choosing teachers that will write favorably about you, in the sense that they will write truthfully about the kind of student you are and the kind of person you are. And sometimes, you may ask for a teacher to write a recommendation letter that you've had, difficulty in their class, but you've improved so dramatically that your academic profile was improved greatly in their class, and that shows the university that although you've had challenges in that class, you're able to overcome these challenges for whatever reason, and succeed in that class. And so sometimes when we're asking for our teachers to recommend us, it's not necessarily all about my student has a 4.0, or they have 100% in my class and they're excellent students. It's really a lot more than that, and we can share that kind of information with you so that you can go ahead and share with your teachers and with your counselors suggested ideas, or at least guide them to writing an essay, or writing a recommendation letter that is very reflective of who you are as a person, not just a letter that just indicates or verifies that you were a student in their class and you received an A in their class. That is not a recommendation letter. Okay, so we can talk about that later on in future sessions with you, and we also have sessions with teachers and college and high school counselors from various schools here in Palestine. Next slide, please. So when all is done and you're ready to submit your application to as many as 20 universities or colleges, or to as few as 2 or 3, do not submit your application without checking and double checking and triple checking all the errors that may be found on your common application. Because once you submit that, it cannot be undone. You cannot go back and change the mistake, okay? And if you did make a major mistake, you will have to print out your application, make the change in pencil or pen, scan it, and send it to each university that you apply to. And that will not look good on your, in your review. So make sure that you double check all the sections and all the information is correct and complete before you submit. And of course, don't wait for the night before. A lot of our students do that and they end up having problems submitting at the last minute. So if your application is ready a week before or even a month before the deadline, go ahead and submit it. There's no requirement for you to submit on the day of or day before the application deadline. Next slide, please. And these are just some additional resources. Marwa will be sending you a follow-up email that will provide you with the Common App, obviously, website and other resources to help you. But there is a YouTube channel for the Common Application that will take you through and guide you through the various sections and tips for completing your Common Application. So this is just a couple of our resources to help you as you begin the process of completing the Common Application. Next slide. Next week, next Sunday, actually, we'll have a session on what to expect on the SAT test day and tips for a successful experience. That'll be next Sunday on August 23rd from 3 to 4 p.m. And we'll also have a very special guest that will share his experience, preparing for the SAT and sitting for the SAT exam. And this person was accepted at a very prestigious, very highly selective university in the U.S. So we look to him to help you with some of his tips on how to best prepare for the SAT test. And I think a lot of you are planning to sit for the test that is on August 29th. So we wish you luck if you are scheduled to test on the 29th. And hopefully this session from our testing program officer and our special guest will help you with additional tips and suggestions of how to complete the test administration successfully and with the least amount of stress possible. Next slide, please. This next slide is a virtual college fair. A lot of our sessions and our events are now virtual. And this will be an important event for many of you who are still searching for universities or colleges to apply to. In this virtual college fair, we'll have more than 600 colleges and universities that will be online, and so you can check out their listing, their college listing, and if you find there are several universities and colleges that you would like to chat with and learn more about their programming and their undergraduate admissions process, please feel free to register. And they will have multiple dates for this fair, as you can see, starting Sunday the 13th of September, and we'll move all the way through November 8th. So there's plenty of choices for you in terms of the timing, and hopefully you'll have a chance to learn about the universities and colleges and campus life to help you make a decision about which schools you would like to apply to. Now it's questions. I think we have maybe 10 more minutes or so, depending on how many questions we have. We'd love to answer those questions for you at this time.
Yes, and we have one question from Lena, I think. Do the students who pass the baccalaureate exam have to pass the SAT?
Well, the baccalaureate, it's a high school exam. Basically, a high school exit exam. You take the certificate exam, but it's the SAT for the purpose of applying to universities and colleges. It'll be required by the university or college that you plan to apply to. So there will be some schools that you want to apply to that will not require the SAT, and there may be some schools that will require it. So it's very school specific and not related to the baccalaureate, in a sense that because you pass the baccalaureate, you have to take the SAT. It's not related. It really is about what the school, what the university or college require for admission consideration and or financial aid. And so how will you know what, which schools request the SAT or require it as a admissions test? You will need to check their website. And for a lot of the universities this year, during COVID pandemic, many of the universities are now either not requiring the SAT or have waived the SAT or have made it as an optional exam to submit. So check the website for each university that you're considering applying to, and they will share with you what their requirements are and what and if they want to see your SAT score, and you're free to submit it if it's an SAT optional policy from that university. Say, does the teacher who writes the recommendation have to be from my current school? I have former teachers, but they were transferred. Well, as I said earlier, the common application, each university will indicate how many recommendation letters they want to see and from whom. They may indicate that they want 2 teacher recommendation letters and maybe 1 optional plus the high school counselor. So we usually recommend that the teachers who recommend high school seniors are from that high school that you're graduating from. But if you have the option to submit an additional recommendation letter, you can certainly ask other teachers from other schools to submit that are teaching somewhere else to submit an optional recommendation letter. But for the most part, universities want to see recommendation letters from your current, academic teaching staff at your high school. How do you choose universities you should apply to? How do you apply for scholarships? That's going to be another session. And of course, we have opportunities for those of you who have not met with Marwa and I as part of the individual consultations. We can share with you our feedback and our guidance based on what you're interested in studying, based on your academic profile. And if you'd like, when Marwa sends you and this group the follow-up email, please do request an individual consultation so that we can learn more about you, where you're studying, what you're looking, what kind of programming you're looking for. There are over 4,000 universities and colleges in the US, so you have a lot to choose from. But based on what you're looking for in terms of a major or a field of interest and other criteria, hopefully we'll be able to help you with choosing schools that would be the best fit for you based on the information that you give us during this individual consultation.